My beloved child, breathe. Let your shoulders drop and your heart unclench. You didn't land here by chance. Something precise has been moving on your timeline like a hand setting a clock, quiet, accurate, meant for you. You've noticed it, the sudden heaviness that visits in the late hours, the way certain names resurface for no clear reason, the tug behind your ribs that says pay attention. Heaven has been circling you with a gentle insistence, asking you to lift your eyes from the fragments and see the pattern. There has been chatter around your name, conversations you were not invited into, assumptions built on shadows, decisions made by people who never asked you what you carried. The tilt in someone's voice. The story that didn't sit right. The strange mix of affection and unease every time a certain person came to mind. Child, your spirit wasn't confused, it was informed. What felt like heaviness was actually a holy alert, letting you know something crafted to wound you had reached its limit. The trap that was designed to make you doubt your worth is already collapsing in the hands that set it. I need you to hear this with your whole self. You are not late to your own life. Every delay has been a filter. What didn't happen yet kept you from attaching to what would have drained you. What did happen, however unfair, trained your discernment, strengthened your spine, and taught your heart to tell the difference between attention and care. You are learning to read energies, not explanations, patterns, not promises, fruit, not performance. This is why the same old bait doesn't catch you anymore. Wisdom has changed your appetite. There is a face that keeps flickering in your memory, someone you trusted, someone you loved, or someone you wished would finally be as solid as they claimed. Their restlessness is real. Conscience has its own volume, and it's been turned up in rooms you cannot see. Not for your humiliation, but for your protection. You will not need to expose anyone. Truth has hands. It travels. It gathers receipts. It arrives without your help and presents itself like light slipping under a locked door. In this next stretch, confirmation will look ordinary, a message sent to the wrong person, a name you haven't heard in months showing up twice in a day, a detail that suddenly aligns what you felt all along. Do not run back to explain yourself. Do not shrink to make anyone comfortable. Clarity is not cruelty. It's rescue. You have carried pain with dignity, too much if we're honest. You kept the peace while it cost you sleep. You protected other people's image while your own joy bled under the door. Heaven saw every bit of it. Not one tear evaporated without being counted. Not one night disappeared without adding weight to your reward. Grace has its own arithmetic, and it has been compounding in silence. When the return arrives, it won't announce itself with noise. It will feel like exhale. The air will taste different. Your room will feel larger. The same tasks that once took everything from you will take half as much and produce twice the fruit. That is how you'll know you crossed a line while you were just trying to survive. Listen, the person who underestimated you will feel the shift before you say a word. That's not your cue to gloat, it's your cue to bless your own boundaries and keep walking. You owe no one an essay to validate your growth. When you stop chasing what resists you, what is truly yours starts locating you without being begged. You're stepping into that flow now. People who match your peace will recognize you on sight. Opportunities will arrive with the scent of ease on them. Provision will come tied to purpose, not panic. This is what it looks like when heaven rewrites the terms. You may still feel the phantom ache of what you lost, habits, places, versions of you who were trying so hard to be easy to love. Honor that tenderness, then release it. The lesson is not that you were too much, the lesson is that your light requires rooms with windows. You will not contort to fit again. You will not barter your intuition for proximity. The future you are entering asks for your full stature, head lifted, boundaries clear, heart soft but guarded by wisdom. This is how you become unstealable. If this is landing in the exact place you've been aching, don't ignore that. Your spirit already knows this message belongs to you. And if you want to keep receiving words tailored to your journey, gentle but direct, protective and practical, subscribe now so they reach you without getting lost in the noise. I don't need you to perform to be found. I want you to be found without performing. Here's the quiet instruction for today. Stop granting discounts to patterns that cost you your peace at full price. Pay attention to small confirmations instead of begging for loud ones. Journal the names, times, and nudges that surface. Tracking them will build your confidence in how clearly you hear. Unclench your future. Do the next honest thing and let timing do the heavy lifting. When the moment arrives, you won't need to force it, it will recognize you. One more thing, and it matters: forgiveness does not mean reopening the door. You can release a weight without returning to what strapped it on you. The point of this season is not revenge, not spectacle, not "I told you so." The point is restoration. Your joy is the proof. Your rest is the proof. Your steady glow is the proof. Let your life become the answer you never had the words for. You are not fragile, you are refined. You are not forgotten, you are being arranged. Even now, the current beneath your days is changing direction, away from glassy surfaces that crack under pressure and toward rock that holds. The same God who guarded you in rooms where your name was mishandled is guiding you into spaces where your gifts are not only needed but nurtured. You will arrive as yourself and be received as yourself. That is the blessing. That is the miracle. Breathe again. Put your hand on your heart and feel that steadying. That's not adrenaline. That's peace returning home. Keep it. We're just getting started. Let's name what's been happening without dramatics. That's not paranoia, that's your discernment maturing. Where you once needed loud signs, you can now read soft ones. You're learning the difference between anxiety that spirals and warning that steadies. Anxiety says rush. You've started adjusting, and that shift alone has already interrupted what was meant to bruise you. There was a season when you called every closed door rejection. Now you can tell when a closed door is protection. You used to bargain with your peace, taking on responsibilities no one asked you to carry, defending yourself to people committed to not understanding you, saying yes while your chest whispered no. Hear this in plain words: your yes is holy. Spend it like currency, not confetti. When you begin to honor your yes, your life will stop leaking power. This is why some invitations feel heavier than they look. The cost is hidden in the fine print. Read with your spirit. If the price is your clarity, the answer is no. You've also been grieving the old version of you who needed constant reassurance. That part isn't weakness, it was simply a younger you trying to keep promises to everyone at once. The road in front of you requires the you who trusts what you hear in the quiet, that the delay wasn't punishment, it was precision. That the silence wasn't abandonment, it was incubation. That love will not demand you abandon yourself to keep it. Anything that requires you to abandon yourself isn't love, it's negotiation, and you've spent enough time haggling with your worth. Let's talk about the person who keeps surfacing in memory. You're not imagining their restlessness. Guilt is a persistent drumbeat. It can make even the confident feel haunted. But understand the assignment of this awareness: not to reopen a door but to close a loop. Closure is not a conversation, it's a decision. It's deciding to stop asking questions that keep you stuck and start asking questions that get you free. Not why did they, but what did I learn about my capacity to heal? Not how could they, but how can I love myself like I wish they had? These are the questions that escort you out of the maze. Expect confirmations in everyday wrappers. The text that accidentally reveals a pattern. The friend who shares a story that mirrors yours with uncanny detail. The way a song lands on a line that feels written for your situation. Don't dismiss these just because they're ordinary. Heaven loves to hide answers in plain sight. Write them down. Patterns become obvious on paper. And while you're writing, list what you are no longer willing to carry, responsibilities that belong to other adults, expectations based on a version of you that no longer exists, loyalties to rooms that shrink you to fit their furniture. You're allowed to outgrow what you outlived. There's a new ethic forming in you, quiet, firm, spacious. It sounds like boundary, but it is really devotion to the life God trusted into your hands. You're putting things back where they belong. Your energy is no longer a public resource. Your attention is no longer an open tab. Watch what happens as you reassign your focus. Projects finish, sleep deepens, friendships brighten, and the ache behind your eyes eases. Order is gentle medicine. You may feel a phantom tug to prove something to people who didn't protect you. The goal isn't to be seen, it's to be whole. Wholeness won't parade itself for approval. It will simply live, and in living it will glow. The ones meant to understand will, and those who don't aren't your assignment. You are not an explanation, you are a person. Provision in this season will arrive attached to purpose. Notice the difference between offers that flatter and offers that fit. Flattery inflates you for a moment and asks for you in return. Fit makes room for your humanity and adds to your life instead of extracting from it. The right door opens without you breaking yourself against it. You are leaving the era of forcing and entering the era of alignment. Here's a practice that will feel small but change everything. Bless the path you no longer take. When the old thought tries to walk you into fear, bless it and let it pass. When the old loneliness calls, remember that loneliness isn't a verdict, it's a signal to step towards safe connection, not unsafe company. You don't need to self-sabotage to feel familiar. You're allowed to be new. There is also a tenderness coming back to your future. You can feel it when you plan without bracing for disaster, when hope returns without needing to be caged by a contingency plan. That's not naivety, it's healed discernment. You're not pretending bad things never happen, you're remembering goodness has a say in the final edit. You've edited your life with fear long enough, let grace take a pass at the draft. Watch how the story reads differently when love holds the pen. If as you read this you feel a steadiness moving through your center, treat it as the evidence you asked for. The heavy season is losing its grip. The next doors will not ask you to betray yourself to get through them. You will sit at tables that feed you whole, work that honors your soul, relationships that are fluent in reciprocity. And when the moment rises, the message, the call, the small sign that seems too on time to be random, receive it without dramatizing it. Say thank you. Do the next honest thing. Keep your pace humane. The story doesn't need spectacle to be sacred. It just needs you present, awake and willing to treat your life like the miracle it is. That's your work now. Presence over panic, integrity over impulse, peace over performance. Keep going. The ground under your feet is stronger than it has ever been. Child, let's breathe again. You're doing better than you think. Even if the world hasn't congratulated you, heaven already has. Every quiet decision to stay kind when anger felt easier has been noted. Every time you refused to shrink back into fear became an offering, a declaration that you are ready for the peace you once only prayed for. And pruning never feels pleasant while it's happening, but it makes space for fruit that lasts. The heaviness that has sat on your chest these last weeks isn't just emotional residue, it's spiritual labor pain. Something new is being born through your patience. The waiting has been long because what's coming isn't shallow. It's layered, meant to sustain you, not tease you. If you have felt restless lately, that's the signal that preparation is almost complete. You are standing at the narrow bridge between what was and what's about to begin. People around you have noticed the change even if they can't name it. They sense you pulling your energy back from places that no longer water you. Some will take it personally. Let them. You are no longer required to explain growth to those who benefit from your confusion. This is your cue to protect your focus like a sacred asset. The next chapter opens only for those who steward attention well. There will be a moment sooner than you think when something that used to break you tries to re-enter your space. It may come as an apology, an opportunity, or a memory wearing nostalgia's perfume. Pause before you respond. Heaven is testing not your forgiveness but your discernment. Not everyone who returns deserves re-entry. Some lessons graduate us, not invite us back. You've been feeling alone in this recalibration, haven't you? That's because clarity is a lonely companion at first, but don't confuse isolation with abandonment. Sometimes heaven removes the chorus so you can hear your own melody. The friends, resources, and mentors aligned with your next level are already orbiting closer. You won't need to audition for them, resonance will recognize resonance. Stay patient long enough for alignment to finish assembling the table. If this resonates, pause now and subscribe so these words can keep finding you at the right time. I want you to have reminders crafted for your exact journey, messages that arrive when noise gets loud again. This isn't about numbers, it's about nurture. You're building a rhythm of receiving and staying connected matters. Now here's the truth about the one who wronged you. They're already feeling the echo of their choices. You don't need to wish them harm. Conviction is doing what revenge never could. Their silence toward you is not indifference, it's discomfort. They see your peace and realize how much of it they traded away. But that's their curriculum, not yours. Your assignment is healing without hostility. You don't win by hardening, you win by staying soft and wise. Every storm that touched you has quietly upgraded your spirit's technology. Where others see coincidence, you now see coordination. The divine doesn't shout, it arranges. And lately everything has been arranging itself around your becoming. Remember when you used to pray, "Show me who's real"? That prayer was answered. But clarity rarely arrives with comfort. It removes illusions first. The disappointments you've faced were simply veils lifting. Thank them for leaving. They freed up capacity for genuine connection. You are not losing people, you're losing distortion. You'll notice it in subtle ways: first money stretching further, sleep coming easier, intuition whispering clearer. These are previews of stability. Don't rush to announce them. Protect small miracles while they root. Not everything holy requires broadcasting. Let your new peace mature quietly before you share it loudly. Some of the signs you'll start noticing soon: familiar songs playing at just the right moment, feathers or numbers appearing when you need reassurance, messages that repeat the same word you've been hearing internally. These are not coincidences, they're confirmations. A gentle way heaven speaks in patterns to those learning to listen. Smile when they appear. Gratitude anchors grace. If you catch yourself wondering when the full release will arrive, remember that time in divine math isn't delay, it's design. You haven't missed anything, you're being synchronized. The world's clock is linear, heaven's is layered. What feels late in human hours is right on time in eternal ones. Keep walking, not pacing. One last reminder for today: you don't have to chase miracles. You just have to stay where miracles can find you, present, peaceful, obedient to the next right step. The energy around you is already shifting. You can feel it in the way conversations sound different, in the sudden urge to clear your space, in the unexpected calm settling over your mornings. That's not nothing, that's evidence. Hold steady, child. This calm you're learning to trust is not the absence of movement, it's the proof that heaven has taken the wheel. From here nothing forced will last and nothing real will fail. Stay aligned, keep your heart open, and let grace finish what it started. When the noise fades, the foundation work begins. You're not stuck, you're being recalibrated. Heaven often hides progress inside what looks like pause. So if things have gone silent lately, take it as confirmation that something structural is being rebuilt beneath your daily life. What you can't see is being strengthened so that what's coming won't collapse under its own weight. There's a temptation, especially in waiting seasons, to fill the quiet with motion, more plans, more noise, more fixing. But growth doesn't always announce itself through busyness. Sometimes it happens in the unseen adjustments, your mindset shifting from proving to trusting, your prayers maturing from requests to readiness, your energy learning to expand without leaking. You're not lazy for resting. You're wise for conserving your focus. The next chapter will require fuel, not fumes. Let's talk about purpose, because lately it's been whispering again, hasn't it? The small ideas you keep brushing off as maybe later are not random. They're seeds. You keep asking for signs while holding the sign itself in your imagination. When you feel that pull toward a project, a call, a study, or a new path, honor it. God often speaks in subtle curiosity. If something keeps lighting your spirit quietly, that's an invitation to investigate, not ignore. Move toward it with one small act. The call on your life wasn't sent to a group chat. It was delivered privately. That's why the people around you can't always validate what heaven has already confirmed. When Noah built the ark, there was no audience, just instruction. Some things are meant to be built in silence until the rain proves the reason. You're in that phase now. Build quietly. Let results announce what you were too faithful to explain. The strange restlessness you feel when you think about your future is holy discontent. It's not that you're ungrateful, it's that your spirit knows there's more. You're being invited to move from survival to stewardship, from can I make it to how can I multiply what I've been given. This is the kind of shift that breaks generational patterns. You're the hinge between what was tolerated and what will be transformed. And yes, that weight feels heavy, but it's also sacred. You were trusted with it because you can carry it without bitterness. Every closed door has been instruction, not punishment. Every delay was training your perception. You can't be fooled the way you used to be, because now you know peace is the first confirmation of right direction. The anxious rush that once felt like motivation. Spiritual evolution is simply learning to interpret your own signals sooner. When your peace disappears, pause. When it expands, proceed. Heaven's map is drawn in the language of peace. There's another detail you've been wondering about: why the same tests keep repeating. It's not failure, it's refinement. You're not circling the same mountain. You're ascending it in spirals, seeing the same landscape from higher vantage points each time. Give yourself credit. You're not who you were even 6 months ago. Some of you have been dreaming vividly lately, water doors running flight. The subconscious often rehearses freedom before the conscious mind accepts it as possible. You're being shown what liberation feels like so you can recognize it when it manifests. Keep a journal by your bed. Patterns will emerge. They are personal blueprints for your next elevation. Forgive yourself for how long you stayed somewhere that didn't honor you. You stayed because hope is stubborn and loyalty is your nature. But even loyalty has limits when it turns to self-betrayal. You're allowed to forgive yourself for believing the potential in people who refuse to grow. That wasn't foolish, it was faith misplaced. Now you're learning to place it back where it belongs, not in people, not in timelines, but in purpose. Don't rush to prove that you've changed. They'll notice the difference: the calm in your tone, the absence of defense, the glow of someone who no longer needs validation. I know it's easy to glance at others and feel like you're behind, but comparison is a thief of both gratitude and timing. You don't know what weight their sparkle hides. You don't know what midnight prayer birthed their daylight victory. Stay on your lane of obedience. The fruit that grows slowly lasts longer. Fast ripening is often fast rotting. Trust divine pacing, it's tailored for endurance, not applause. Here's your gentle reminder: gratitude is not denial of hardship, it's direction of focus. Every time you name something good, you magnify its energy. Try it now. Say softly, thank you for the breath in my body. Thank you for the lessons that didn't destroy me. Thank you that I can still feel hope and try. See how your chest loosens. That's grace expanding your capacity again. Keep practicing. Gratitude is the gateway to momentum. Before we move on, I need you to do something symbolic. Take a small piece of paper tonight and write down what you're done carrying: names, fears, regrets, false labels. Fold it, whisper released, and throw it away. It's not magic, it's permission. You're telling your nervous system the chapter is over. Tomorrow when you wake you'll feel lighter, because closure needs expression. Child, the shift you've been praying for isn't future tense. It's already underway. You don't need to force evidence, you just need to stay congruent with what peace keeps confirming. The stillness around you is not punishment, it's the sound of foundation settling. Something massive is aligning quietly. Keep steady hands, open heart, and a soft gaze toward what's coming. You're nearly at the threshold where understanding catches up to faith. My beloved child, pause here. This is the part heaven wrote in golden ink, the moment where everything that confused you begins to make sense. The battles weren't random, they were blueprints preparing you for balance. Every disappointment was an invisible redirection that kept you from shrinking into the wrong story. Look around, notice how the air feels lighter. That's not imagination, that's release. You've crossed the invisible line from waiting to receiving. The very energy that once felt heavy now works in your favor. People who left were never rejection, they were divine subtraction to clear your sight. You don't need to prove anything anymore. Your peace is evidence. Your stillness is strength. What's meant for you has found you, and it will stay. Before the new doors open fully, make this your vow: no more shrinking to fit small rooms, no more explaining boundaries to those committed to misunderstanding them, no more apologizing for shining. You are the answered prayer, the restoration someone once begged heaven for. Walk in that knowing, gently but firmly. Breathe in the calm. The storm has done its work, the soil is ready. What begins after this moment will not need striving, it will flow naturally, because alignment doesn't require effort, only agreement. Whisper this to yourself now: I am ready for peace. I am ready for provision. I am ready for love that feels like rest. If this word reached your spirit, subscribe now so these divine reminders continue finding you. Not by algorithm but by assignment. This isn't goodbye, it's the doorway. Step through it. The light ahead has been waiting on your yes. Heaven smiles, the story resets, and grace begins its encore. Your miracle season has quietly, powerfully begun.